students. Today we will summarize the remaining part of chapter 3, and also we are going to discuss about the new chapter, population, economy, natural resource of Africa. Let us start from the major vegetation zone of Africa. Africa has 5 major vegetation zones. The first one is the tropical rainforest. In Africa, it is found in the Central Africa, Western Africa, and Eastern Africa. This type of vegetation is found in the Congo Basin. The area is dominated by evergreen forests, broadleaf forests, and dense vegetation because the area receives high rainfall throughout the year. And also, hardwood trees common in this area. For example, like ebony, mahogany, rosewood are the common types of hardwood trees in this area. The tropical grassland is the second type of natural vegetation of Africa. This is found in the northern and southern extent of Africa. It is found close to the equator. The area covered by grasses and scattered trees. The tropical grassland or savanna are 3 types. These are wet savanna, true savanna, and dry savanna. The wet savanna is found between the equatorial rainforest region and the true savanna. This area covered by different trees and tall grasses because the area is found near to the equatorial rainforest region. This type of forest mostly found in the southern Sudan, northern Congo, and in western Africa. Also, it is found in central Malawi. The second type of savanna is true savanna. It is found between wet savanna and dry savanna. It has dominated by many grasses and scattered trees. This type of savanna mostly found in the southern Kenya, Zimbabwe, and also in western Africa. And the last one is the dry savanna. The dry savanna is found close to the desert region because of in this area there is short trees and many scattered trees like thorn bushes. This type of savanna vegetation mostly found in the Sahel region of Africa. The desert and semi-desert vegetation is mainly found in area of rainfall scant or insufficient rainfall is found in this area. Because of this, the area dominated by xerophytes type of vegetation. This zone have above 3,000 species of vegetation. 20% of the species are endemic, found in northern Africa. Mostly this desert and semi-desert vegetation is found in the Sahara Desert and Namib Desert. The Afro mountain vegetation is found mainly in the high altitude of Eastern Africa and Ethiopia. For example, in this area, alpine vegetation is very common. For example, in Ethiopia, Jibira and Asta are the common type of vegetation. The Mediterranean vegetation mostly found in the southwest and northwest extent of Africa. It is generally dominated the Maghreb region. This zone dominated by maquis, citrus fruits, and other wild olives are found in the Mediterranean region. According to FAO, African soil divided into 4. These are the pedal-first, podocalc, hydromorphic, and azonal soils. When you see pedal-first soil is the largest group of African soil. It rich in aluminum and iron oxide. Mostly this type of soil is found in the Central Africa. It is fertile soil. It has a color of black-brown color. The second type of African soil is pedocalc. This rich in calcium carbonate. mostly found in the arid and semi-arid areas, and also it is found in humid climate of Africa. The third type of African soil is hydromorphic soil. This type of soil mostly found in Niger Volta, Congo Basin, and in some part of Angola. This type of soil used for cultivation of rice, yam, sugarcane, and also vegetable grow by this type of soil. The last type of soil is azonal soil. These soil are immature soil, not well-developed soil, mostly used for grazing purpose. African soil affected by different things, for example, by deforestation, overcultivation, and so on. So the major conservation method of soil of Africa is terracing. Terracing is constructing stair-like structure along hillside to reduce soil erosion. This is common in highland of Africa, especially in Ethiopia. Conso area practice this conservation method. The second type of soil conservation measure is agroforestry. Agroforestry is association of agriculture with forest development. Planting forest around farmland, it has many important, for example, forests are windbreak and control running water. Afforestation, also another method of soil conservation, planting trees on a barren land. And this method protects the area from soil erosion agents, like from winds, running water, and so on. And reforestation is planting trees, seedling, replace cutting forests. The other method of soil conservation is a strip cultivation. A strip cultivation is planting 2 or more crops by using the same farmland. This is important to reduce running water. Counterplowing, also another method of soil conservation measure. Counterplowing is plowing the land sideways in following contours. This is also important to reduce soil erosion agents. Crop rotation means planting different crops alternatively on a farm. This also many advantages. For example, it maintains soil fertility and so on. Let's move to the new chapter, that is population, economy, and natural resource of Africa. The content include aspects of population, economy, and natural resource of Africa, concepts of economic growth and development, natural resource of Africa and its politics. Let's define what is human population. Human population is a number of human inhabitants in a given area, such as country, city, town, and so on. Distribution of population is the spread of people over a given area. So population distribution throughout the world is uneven. There are densely, moderately, sparsely populated areas in the world. Densely populated regions in the world include the Asiatic population belt, the peninsular Europe, the northeast of Northern America. These are densely populated regions in the world. This is known as population clusters or population nodes. From Asiatic population belt, the Southern Asia and Eastern Asia are densely populated region of Asia. The sparsely populated region of the world, the first one is the tundra region. The tundra region, also known as the cold desert. Why we say this region is a cold desert? Because at least for 8 months the temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius. So the tundra region cultivation is difficult to short growth season and inhabited only by very few nomadic peoples, because the climate of tundra region is very harsh. The second sparsely populated region of the world is the hot dry lands. In this area, there is lack of rainfall, but the temperature is very high. For example, the Sahara Desert of Africa or the tropical desert areas is an example of sparsely populated. The third sparsely populated region of the world is the hot wetland, because in the region the rainfall is very high and also the temperature is very high. Because of this area is not suitable for settlement purpose. For example, in Africa, areas have hot wetlands climate, the Congo Basin. High relief areas is not suitable for settlement purpose, and also the temperature is very cold. Because of this, these areas not suitable for settlement. And the last sparsely populated region of area is areas with poor soil. In this area we get very few people. Let us see the importance of population studies. Population study has many importance. For example, to demonstrate significant quantitative and qualitative change over time, for a rational utilization of human and natural resource, and for policy implication for development and economic activities. In general, population study has many importances, and it is used for mainly to analyze human population. Since in the 15th century, the world population has been experiencing continuous growth or rapidly increase because of advanced in scientific knowledge, advanced in technology, and also advanced in industry, medicine, and social organization, increase the human ability to control diseases like tropical disease and famine, and also relatively lower cost of importing vaccines, antibiotics, insecticides, and high yields, improvement in people's living condition, increase the life expectancy of developing countries. After 20th century, the world population increased rapidly. This has a negative impact on the environment. For example, at this moment, the rate of carbon dioxide in the environment increase because of the result of population growth. Why? It is people deforest forests, different things, for example, to expand farmlands for settlement purpose and so on. If the amount of natural vegetation decrease, the rate of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere increase. So, population growth directly affects on socio-economic development and the quality of environment. Let us see the size of the world population. During 1950s, the Asian, African, and Latin America totally population accounts 68% of the world population. But it is increased rapidly. During 2000, it reached 18%. This shows there is a rapid population increase in the world. China and India alone account 37% of the world population. So, as we have seen in the previous lesson, Africa is the world's second most populous continent. Africa's population accounts 1/4 of the Asian population, and it's greater than 28 times the Oceanian population. Very few peoples found in Oceania. Let us see these tables. 16% of the world population is found in Asia. Asia is the first populous region in the world and densely populated region in the world. The second most populous region of the world is Africa. It accounts 14.7% of the world population. But Africa is not densely populated because of its large size. The smallest population is found in Oceania. These are the 10 countries, the most populous countries of the world. China, India, USA, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Russia, Japan are the most populous country in the world. From Africa, the most populous country, Nigeria. Next to Nigeria, Ethiopia is the most populous, and the third one is Egypt. What is population growth? What are the components of population change? How fast it is African population growth? Please, students, discuss this for. Population growth shows increasing the size of population. Africa has one of the world's fastest growth in terms of population because in Africa, fertility is very high. Population changes the result of fertility, mortality, and migration. These three components affect the population of a given area. Fertility and mortality are a biological factor. Fertility increases the growth of a given population. Mortality decreases the number of population in a given area. Migration is non-biological factor. Migration is the movement of people from one place to another. Because of different factors, people move from one place to another. Let us see these charts. Birth has a positive effect on natural change, and this has a negative effect on natural change. Migration is the movement of people from one place to another, depend on the previous lesson. There are two types of migration, immigration and migration. Because of immigration, the number of population increase. Because of immigration, it loses or decreases the number of population. So because of immigration and immigration, it has a population change. Let us see what is fertility. Fertility is the occurrence of birth in a given population, or it is a reproductive performance of a population. There are three types of measure of fertility. These are crude birth rate, general fertility rate, and total fertility rate is a measure of fertility. General fertility rate, it is the number of children born per woman. The third one is total fertility rate. It is helpful for comparing the fertility performance of different population or social group. Measure to reduce birth rate. As we have seen in Africa, there is high fertility rate. To reduce this birth rate, it is better to use or to practice improving the status of women, improved educational level regarding family planning, reduction of poverty are some measure of reducing fertility. Let us see the population size of Africa, what seems like the population growth of Africa. As we have seen in the previous, Africa is the second most populous continent in the world because fertility is high in Africa. According to the World Population Data Sheet of 2009, African population reached 1 billion, and 14.7% of the world population is found in Africa. When we see the population growth rate, Africa has one of the world's fastest growth population. According to 2009, the growth rate of Africa reaches 2.4%. To find growth rate, we have the formula. Growth rate is equal to natural rate of increase plus or minus net migration rate. So the growth rate of Africa reached 2.4%. This shows that Africa has rapidly population growth. This shows that in Africa, fertility is very high. When we see rate of natural increase, rate of natural increase is natural increase is equal to the difference between crude birth rate minus crude death rate. This is to find rate of natural increase. We use this formula. It is the result of the difference between crude birth rate and crude death rate. And rate of natural increase in Africa, it reached 2.3% according to 2009 data sheet. General growth rate, as we have seen in the previous, it is the difference between rate of natural increase and net migration rate. It is expressed in percent. Let us see this table. Asia to double itself, it needs 58 years. Africa only needs 21 years. And North America needs long time to double itself, only 160 years. From this data, we conclude that from other regions of the world, Africa has high fertility rate. As we have seen, the doubling time, 29 years. According to regions of Africa, when you see crude birth rate of Western Africa and Eastern Africa and Central Africa has high crude birth rate, generally, most of the African regions have high crude birth rate. And also, when you see crude death rate, in North Africa has less crude death rate from the other rest of the continent because Northern Africa is more developed region of Africa. When we see a rate of natural increase, almost all region of Africa except Southern Africa has high rate of natural increase. And please see this total fertility rate of African regions, as we have seen from this data. Almost all regions of Africa has high total fertility rate. African distribution is uneven like other continents of the world. There are areas of high and low population density in Africa. For example, Sahara few permanent residents because it has high temperature and low rainfall, the Sahara areas. The most densely populated areas in Africa are found in the Nile Valley of Egypt, the Atlantic coastal areas that stretch from Cote d'Ivoire to Cameroon, Rwanda, Burundi, and Southern Africa province of KwaZulu-Natal are the most densely populated region of Africa. The continent average crude population density during the mid of 2009 data sheet, 33 people live per 1 kilometer square area. Densely populated region of Africa or the Western Africa and the Eastern Africa are most densely populated region of Africa. Densely populated countries of Africa are Mauritius, Mayotte, Seychelles, Reunion, Comoros, Burundi, Rwanda, Sao Tome and Principe, Gambia, and Nigeria, densely populated countries of Africa. Sparsely populated countries of Africa are Western Sahara, Mauritania, Botswana, Namibia, Libya, Gabon, Central Africa Republic, Chad, Mali, and Congo are sparsely populated countries of Africa. Please, students, do these activities for next time. Okay, generally today we have seen about the natural vegetation zone of Africa, the major source of Africa, and also we define the meaning of human population, and also the importance of population studies, the densely and sparsely populated regions of the world, and also sparsely and densely populated countries of Africa. So, for next time, we will discuss about determinants of population change in Africa. Thank you for listening.